Implementation overview for a simple spelling strategy. How we set up the evaluation. The evaluation uses individual randomization, so that just means identifying first a group of target Year 2 learners. You will then put the number of learners that you've identified, for example 12, into the What Worked wizard, and then it will then allocate them into an intervention and control group. You will then set the pre-assessment task, which will be a spelling test from the Year 2 words. The intervention group will then receive the small group support using the spelling intervention, and the control group will continue as normal. And then both groups, both the intervention and control, complete the post-assessment, which is the same spelling test that was used for the pre. And then the control group will then have access to the intervention after. The intervention. So the spelling intervention focuses on Year 2 pupils. The intervention is delivered by a teaching assistant in small groups that can be set as homework as well. The intervention is the look, say, cover, write, check, and we've included a template which you can use for delivering this. Each session should take approximately 10 minutes to complete for the TAs. And this is delivered over a 5-week period. So let's recap the look, say, cover, write, check. So this is a method for learning spelling where children study a word, say the word aloud clearly, paying attention to the spelling, cover it up with a piece of paper or their hand. A sheet with a fold down makes it much easier, so that's why we've included a template. Write the spelling next to the original word and check their version to see if they got it right. And then correct the spelling again if necessary. And as previously explained, this version of the strategy emphasizes reading and saying the word out loud to help connect with the written and spoken word. So how to select the spellings. The DfE National Curriculum includes guidance on pages 54 to 58 on the expected spellings for Year 2, or you may have a list of these in your classroom. Use this to create a spelling list of 20 words that you will select for the intervention. Each week, the learners will practice 5 new words using this strategy with their teaching assistant, and in week 5, they will then consolidate all 20 words that they've learned. We include a resource folder which has the template, and it also has a tracking spreadsheet. So when you input the number of learners into the randomization, it will then randomize learners into interventional control. On your tracking spreadsheet, use this to link an anonymized learner ID, such as student 1, to a learner name, and then just record if they are control or intervention. You then use this for recording your pre- and post-test scores, and you have the option of adding if they're free school meal status. So key considerations. Time. Is there a suitable time in the day for the delivery? Remember, this is a 10-minute intervention. Location. Is there a suitable location, such as a classroom or a library? Supervision. What if you do not have sufficient TAs to deliver this intervention? Well, if you don't have sufficient TAs to deliver a targeted intervention, please visit the trials that we have, because we have this as a class level 1 as well. So that can be delivered by a teacher as a whole class, but that does use class level randomization. Reminders, just on the day of the intervention, it's always good practice to remind the learners about the session. And for the resources, can you print off the templates in advance of the sessions? And the rewards, will students participate and receive a reward for their efforts? So logistical barriers are common in any intervention delivered in schools. So it's important to consider these prior to starting the learning. So the assessment. The assessment measure for this intervention is attainment as defined by a pre- and post-test spelling. The assessment is marked out of 15, and it's the same for both the pre and the post. So out of your 20 words, just select 15 of these for your assessment. As both the control and the intervention groups receive the same assessment, familiarity with the assessment will not bias the effect size. And finally, just some assessment guidance. So if you can, just complete this under test conditions. Allow approximately 10 to 15 minutes for the assessment to be completed, and provide an example of the word in a sentence for each spelling when they are asked to spell the word. And then just record your pre and post assessment data on your tracking spreadsheet and then upload this to the platform. So if you then want to move on now to download your protocol, to then download the resource folder and then start the trial wizard.